The following tutorial is brought to you by School of Disc Golf. Watching ball golf on TV a while back, I started watching the pre-shot putting routine that most of the players go through. They all kind of do the same thing. They'll swing the club back and forth, pendulum-like, before stepping up to the ball and hitting it. And I always thought that one of the main reasons they do this is to kind of get that tempo and that rhythm down so that when they actually strike the ball, they don't have to guess at it. They kind of have the feel they want. Problem is, in disc golf, everything I've seen along those lines before a putt, players are basically holding the disc up to establish their line, or they're kind of going through a slow motion pump or two just to get a rhythm, and then they putt. But there's a problem in disc golf, and that is that since we're holding on to the disc, we can't practice one of the most important parts of the putts beforehand, and that is the follow-through. And so I started to think about how can we come up with a routine that takes the best of what they do in ball golf and use it in disc golf. You start off, I think, by still focusing on that one link you want to hit visually. Then you switch over to holding the disc in your non-throwing hand while you go through as realistic a putting stroke with an empty hand as you possibly can before you very, very quickly switch the disc to your throwing hand and just try to basically replicate the same motion you were just practicing. That's what you're seeing here. You're seeing me, and again, I'm trying to do something that's very similar to what you'd see in ball golf, those practice strokes, getting that exact feel that you want before stepping right up and throwing it. The only difference is in ball golf, you're not allowed to hit the ball, but you can hold on to the club the whole time. Well, in disc golf, we're throwing a disc, and you can't really produce that exact same type of feel with the disc in your hand because you can't get that arm stretching all the way forward. And even if you try to do it with the disc in your hand, you're always going to be holding back a little bit to make sure that the disc isn't slipping out of your hand. So, really, that's really what I came up with, and I've been doing it for a while now, and I'm noticing tremendous improvement in the consistency of those short to mid-range putts. It works all the way out to the point where you might be jump putting, and then it's a little bit harder to capture that same feel a bunch of times in a row. But I'm telling you, it really, really does make a difference to be able to go through that exact same putting motion that you plan to use. And it really simplifies your thoughts, too. All you have to do is visually focus on the link you want to hit, and then you're visualizing your putt as you're practicing it with an empty hand. You do it 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, however many times it takes for you to get that feeling. And then when you switch to the disc in your hand, you're simply saying just replicate exactly what I did before. If you want to read a more detailed description of this, go to schoolofdiscgolf.com, and once you get to the home page, there's a thing on the right-hand side called the Disc Cloud. You'll find it listed on one of the topics like putting or disc golf instruction or the learning curve. Schoolofdiscgolf.com.